Part 10. Let me show how. Power of change your life.
If I could go back in time, there are 10 habits I'd start immediately, no hesitation. These habits completely transformed my life in ways I never expected. They made me more focused, more peaceful, and far more productive. What's surprising is that most of these habits are incredibly simple, but their impact is life-changing. Whether it's boosting your energy, calming your mind, or helping you achieve more with less stress, each one has the power to change your life too. Let me show you how. 1. Morning movement. Not exercise, just movement. For years, I had this routine. Hit snooze at least twice, drag myself out of bed, check my phone for notifications, and rush straight into my day. I didn't give myself time to breathe or think, much less move. Mornings were something to survive, not enjoy. Like many people, I thought mornings were just about getting out of bed and getting straight to work or starting my long list of responsibilities. I believed that productivity was about pushing through the morning fog as fast as possible. The idea of morning movement, doing something physical to ease into the day, never even crossed my mind. It wasn't until I started experimenting with this habit that I realized how much of a game changer it could be. Just 5 to 10 minutes of gentle movement in the morning completely shifted the way I felt for the rest of the day. My mind became clearer, my body felt energized, and that lingering sense of stress that used to follow me throughout the morning suddenly disappeared. It was like hitting a reset button for my mind and body before the day even began. 2. Single tasking. The art of doing, one thing at a time. For the longest time, I believed that multitasking was the key to getting ahead. If I could just juggle more things at once, answering emails while on calls, eating lunch while brainstorming ideas, scrolling social media while watching TV, I'd surely be more productive, right? The truth couldn't have been further from that. While I thought I was optimizing my time, I was actually burning myself out. I wasn't truly focused on anything. Tasks took longer than they should have, mistakes crept in more often, and by the end of the day, I felt completely drained, with very little to show for it. The worst part, my mind was in a constant state of mental chaos. I'd jump from one task to another, forgetting half of what I was doing and never feeling like I'd made real progress. My brain was stretched in 10 directions at once, but not one of those directions felt intentional or productive. Then I discovered single tasking and everything changed. The 2-minute rule, stop procrastinating, and clear mental clutter. This one's an absolute game changer. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Sounds simple, right? But don't underestimate its power. This small habit completely changed how I manage my day and helped me break free from procrastination. For years, I'd let tiny tasks pile up, responding to emails, putting away laundry, washing a dish, or quickly filing a document. None of these tasks felt urgent, so I'd think, I'll do it later. But later never came. Instead, those small tasks would accumulate and turn into a mountain of things I dreaded dealing with. The result? Mental clutter. Even if I wasn't actively thinking about those tasks, they lived in the back of my mind, creating unnecessary stress. I'd feel guilty every time I looked at the growing list of little things I had to do. It wasn't just about the tasks themselves. It was about the invisible weight of unfinished business that followed me everywhere. Then I discovered the 2-minute rule, and everything changed. 4. Journaling for clarity. A simple habit with profound results. For years, I overlooked journaling. I always thought it was something only writers or people with extra time did. Not me. I convinced myself it was unnecessary. Just another thing to add to my already overwhelming to-do list. It wasn't until I hit a point in my life where my thoughts felt like a tangled mess that I finally gave it a try. My mind was constantly racing, filled with to-do lists, worries, and random thoughts I couldn't make sense of. I felt stuck, anxious, and mentally drained. No matter how hard I tried to think through my problems, nothing seemed to become clearer. That's when I decided to start journaling, not for productivity or goal setting, but simply to get the noise out of my head and onto paper. What happened next surprised me. In just a few minutes of writing, my thoughts began to untangle. Problems that had seemed overwhelming started to feel manageable. Emotions I couldn't quite identify became clearer. Journaling became a safe space where I could step back, reflect, and organize my mind. It helped me calm my anxiety and gave me a deeper sense of clarity and peace. Fifth, digital detox time. How disconnecting helps you reconnect with yourself. For years, my evenings looked the same. Scrolling through social media, binge watching YouTube videos, and jumping from one app to another until it was suddenly midnight. I'd convinced myself I was relaxing, but I wasn't. By the time I went to bed, my mind was buzzing, overloaded with information and stimulation. Sleep didn't come easily, and even when it did, it wasn't restful. What I didn't realize at the time was that all this digital noise was doing more than stealing my evenings. It was affecting my mental health, focus, and emotional well-being. It wasn't until I decided to take intentional breaks from screens that I noticed how much calmer, clearer, and more present I could feel. Sixth, reading 10 pages a day. A small habit with a massive impact. When I was younger, reading always felt like something I should do, not something I wanted to do. It felt like a chore, a good habit that would be nice to have, but one that was easy to push aside for something more urgent. After all, reading requires focus and time, and who has extra time these days, right? But that mindset kept me from experiencing one of the most transformative habits of my life. Reading just 10 pages a day. It doesn't sound like much. 10 pages a day feels almost insignificant. But here's what I didn't realize. Small habits compound over time. If you read just 10 pages a day, that's about 300 pages a month, or roughly 12 books a year. That's 12 opportunities to expand your thinking, spark new ideas, and gain insights you never would have found otherwise. 7. Practicing gratitude daily. The simple habit that changes everything I know. Gratitude might sound like one of those overused buzzwords, something you see on motivational posters or hear about in passing, but never really take seriously. That's exactly how I felt for years. I heard people talk about gratitude like it was a magic solution, but I didn't believe something so simple could make a difference. But then I hit a point in my life where it felt like no matter what I accomplished, it was never enough. My mind was constantly focused on what wasn't working, what I didn't have, and what I needed to fix. I was stuck in a cycle of negativity, and it was exhausting. That's when I decided to give gratitude a real shot. I started small, listing 3 things I was grateful for each morning. Not big, life-changing things, but the simple, often overlooked moments. Things like a warm cup of coffee, a kind message from a friend, or just the fact that I had a comfortable bed to sleep in. And slowly, something incredible happened. 8. Saying no more often. Reclaiming your time and energy. For a long time, I was a chronic people pleaser. I said yes to everything. Every meeting, every opportunity, every social event, every favor. I thought saying yes was the key to success and connection. I believed that the more I said yes, the more opportunities would come my way, and the more people would like and respect me. But what actually happened was the complete opposite. My schedule filled up with obligations that drained me, and I had no time left for the things that really mattered. I was constantly running on empty, mentally and physically exhausted, trying to please everyone while putting myself last. It wasn't until I learned the power of saying no that everything changed. 9. Regular reflection. The key to staying on track and growing consistently. Looking back, one of the most life-changing habits I regret not starting earlier is regular reflection. For years, I operated on autopilot, moving from one task to the next, chasing goals without pausing to ask myself an important question. Is this actually working? I was constantly busy, but I wasn't always moving in the right direction. I'd set goals at the beginning of the year or month, but somewhere along the way I'd lose focus. Weeks would pass, and I'd feel like I wasn't making real progress, but I didn't know why. That all changed when I started taking just 10 minutes each week to reflect. This simple habit gave me the clarity I'd been missing. It helped me identify what was working, what wasn't, and where I needed to make adjustments. It became a compass, keeping me on track without feeling overwhelmed. 10. Prioritizing sleep. This is the most underrated habit. I used to think sleep was optional, a luxury I couldn't afford. But prioritizing sleep improved everything: my focus, energy, mood, even my creativity. Tip: create a calming nighttime routine and stick to a regular sleep schedule. These 10 habits might seem simple, but trust me, they're life-changing. You don't have to start them all at once. Pick one or two that resonate with you and build from there. The key is consistency. Small steps lead to big transformations. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more ways to improve your life. Also, let me know in the comments which habit you'll try first.